Welcome back. So, here we are in post-game now. I've loaded up the clear data and we can go back through the Garten. Now, I have been told ahead of time there is actually some extra scenes in here, both at the start and at the end. But what we're going to be doing is similar to what we did with theories and stuff throughout the Let's Play, is we're going to use me traveling through the Garten as a way to sort of talk about talking points. Like, the first one I want to do in this part is a better Act 3, because I have ideas on what a better Act 3 could be. So I want to explore that idea and talk about it. So it's probably going to be cut up into chunks, just different talking points. Maybe there'll be a theory part here and there, just different ideas here and there as to what we do across these several parts as we make our way through the Garten. Yeah, it'll make sense when we start going through. It may not show all of it. It just depends how much talking I've got to do, because there's quite a bit of talking I have got to do. But let's get going then, because we've got a...
Bet we can rest there.
Yeah, charging station here. Just seems to be the general stuff. We can create clear data, okay. This is probably going to be your normal Garten stuff, isn't it? Yeah. So what's this one then? Nope. 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 We are not doing fishing. Anyway. Let's see how this works then. Let's head to the Garten, everyone. I'm assuming there's going to be like a scene when I start this up then.
They've got to be yanking our chains at this point. I mean, seriously, you're telling me the Nihon Garten situation still hasn't been fixed?
Apparently so. What's more, the actual cause has yet to be identified.
Wait, really? The Garden Master, that is the spirit of the philosopher Auguste, was the one who took over the Garten in the first place. Now that the 8th Genesis's influence is gone, the hacking should have stopped with it.
Yeah. Pretty bizarre that these strange goings-on are still, well, going on.
Quite. As for why we were asked to gather today, it would seem they wish to share what has been confirmed thus far.
I figured this wasn't just a casual hangout.
We're near the appointed time. Marduk's representative should be along to brief us shortly.
Oh, hello.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, connection stable. Oh, you guys are already here.
Good day to you, Mirabelle.
Sorry for the rush, but would you mind telling us what this is about?
For sure. See, after that last big shebang, we were able to regain control over most of our systems.
Most, you say?
But there's still a few domains we can't access no matter how hard we try. Bummer, right? It's been a total head-scratcher, so we asked Lapis to run some analytics for us.
Wait, you mean LP was in on this the whole time?
Hee, what can I say? It sounded fun. Well, that, and Mirabelle offered to send me some of Orid's finest confections as compensation.
She'll get on with Van, won't she? Won't she?
Guess her bottomless appetite is holo-compatible.
That's fair enough. Did you manage to figure anything out, though?
Yes. After parsing the data, Mirabelle and I came to 2 conclusions. The first is that there's no longer any hacking being done outside the network. And the other is that there's an unknown data construct located somewhere within the virtual domain.
After a lot of levels, I imagine.
An unknown data construct? I'm not sure I follow entirely. But do you suppose that might be the root of these anomalies?
Yep, that's pretty much the idea.
I mean, yeah, that's what I expected.
Couldn't tell you what we're dealing with, but it's definitely the reason our systems are on the fritz.
Oh, yeah?
So it's powerful enough to send even Marduk's technology awry. That doesn't bode well from any angle.
I imagine something artifact-based? Book-based?
Perhaps it's something Auguste planted when he hacked his way into the Nihon Garten. Whatever it is may have remained behind after the fact.
And now it's causing trouble for us, huh?
Oh, yes.
This business doesn't seem all that urgent, as far as I can tell. But I ain't a fan of leaving loose ends untied either. So sure, we'll give it some looking into.
Right.
Everyone's here already, so we may as well.
No reason all of us can't work together to get this off our to-do list.
It's too late in the game to flake out, so fine. Me and S can pitch in. For a price.
Of course.
Would you quit trying to shake them down?
Here we go. The more the merrier, I guess.
Then I'm sure you won't mind a few +1s.
Ugh. They'd better not. We want in on this too.
Oh, hello, Fee. Oh, and Jin.
Fee! Jin! Why are you here?
Oh yeah, this is her actual introduction.
Sup, guys? This virtual stuff is pretty convincing. Really lives up to the hype. I just happened to be in Calvert anyway, so I figured I'd chip in a little.
Elaine actually gave us a light recap on what you've been up to. I've been looking for an opportunity to make up for that whole coup d'etat mess, too.
I mean, again, mate, come on, you didn't do anything wrong.
Here's your chance to put me to work. Lucky you, eh?
So basically, you were enlisted.
That's right. It's in the Guild's best interest to put this issue to bed before it gets out of hand.
Works for me. We'll take all the help we can find. And we can't ask for better firepower than the immovable and Sylphid. Glad to have you aboard.
Indeed.
Looks like some new floors have opened up, by the way. Get out there and kick some butt, okay?
I mean, that's the plan. Jin and Fee can now be added to your party in the garden. Lapis can now be swapped as an avatar during Mystic Cube analysis. Okay, new service has been added. Floor 10 has been added to the garden. I'm not even done floor 8 yet. New products. Well, we'll start looking at stuff like this, but I think it's best at this point we start up our sort of like discussion points. Because like I said, the first thing up is very much going to be what would be a better Act 3. So, let's get into it. So, my issue with Act 3, I don't know if it matches your issues or anything like that. I'd like to hear your thoughts as well as what we could change up in Act 3, but Act 3 is weak to me because of the villain. The Auguste character was just not that interesting, wasn't well developed, but the Ace aspect was actually quite interesting. So what I would do is completely remove the Auguste aspect from Act 3 and just make it be Ace. No twist that it's someone else, it's just Ace. And make it be that he was sort of like the initial corruption from when the cult were experimenting with the 8th Genesis or something like that. Because you got to remember, there is a connection back to the gardens to the cult. So it's like, yeah, the Genesis, they were experimenting on it, and they're experimenting with Ace, and he was the one who started to get corrupted because of like his insecurities, his doubts, his worries, his traumas. You know, feeding on those little things that we had here and there. We also have set up from Nadia and Swin in terms of emotional impact there. We saw parts of it. It's like, develop that a little bit more for anyone who hasn't read the 3 and 9 book. Just bring in more details into the actual story in Act 3, and that would actually be a really good idea. With the idea of like Ace being connected to the cult in that aspect, it could obviously have a connection to Van himself, obviously, because, you know, there's the whole cult connection around him. He was forced to read that book. Then we also have the connection to Ren and Catra. It also then connects to what was happening on Nemeth Island, why he was there. It basically would then play on the idea that, given different scenarios, that Van, Ren, Catra could have been Ace in this kind of thing. They could have easily been the one to become Ace as we see him in Act 3. That could have been an interplay, like just the idea of like, there but for the grace of Adios go I kind of thing. That would be the aspect there. Now what I'd make his incentive being, like what he's trying to rewrite, isn't the same as Auguste, where it's like, I'm trying to bring about a different world based on what happened. Like, no. Ace's aim would be to prevent the demise of the cult by rewriting history. Like, he got so twisted and so corrupted by what they did that he's now trying to bring them back. Now, obviously, us knowing the cult way far back, we'd want to stop him from doing that. Because they were horrendous. They were horrible. They caused such... I don't even know the word. Such torment. Like, it's something beyond that. To so many people, so many children. It's horrible. And the fact he's been so corrupted that he'd want to bring them back and be like, we need to stop him. We'd understand it. We'd get it. Again, especially because of what we just saw on Nemeth Island. It builds from the previous chapter. It's like, now we were shown that. We understand it through Katra. Those of us who were following along would now know from Ren. So it's like we got two aspects. We got the Van aspect. So it's building all on that fact. And it would be really, really interesting, at least to me. You know, again, poke any holes you can in this idea, because I've not fleshed it out fully. But from there, you basically go after him, defeat Ace, stop him in a similar fashion to what you did here, which is like, okay. Like when we stopped Auguste, we basically stopped Ace and we freed him.
We've got this trial in the bag.
That would be the same. We'd like free him, Nadia and Swin have their moment, lovely. But as a result of everything happening with what Ace has been doing, it would then allow you the opportunity, like think what Dingo was telling us, like different possibilities we were shown, different like quantum realities essentially, and we can lock one in. You could then be shown that there was a possibility, because of what Ace had been doing across Act 3, that you can make it so the cult never existed at all. And now you are presented with a choice, and you have Van, Ren, and Katra there being like, what do we do? What do we do? Do we erase the cult? We have this opportunity, or do we leave the world as it is? And it would become this really interesting topic, really interesting back and forth between all these characters, speaking to the people who were not affected by the cult, the ones who were affected by the cult, and then just speaking to each other about that aspect. And then it finally coming down to
Nothing to it.
the idea that no, they don't rewrite history. No, they don't get rid of the cult. And it especially like harken towards Ren and Katra. Because without everything that happened, Ren would not be the person she is today, and she is happy now. Because again, of what we saw on Nemeth Island, we've seen that Ren is happy now. She is safe. She has a family. She loves her family. She loves the Brights. She has all these opportunities, like she would not want to take that away. And then we have Katra come in being like, I've started to understand who I am. If I erase that, I'm not me anymore. I have no idea of who I will be. That is a complete unknown, because none of that would have happened. Who I am would not exist. So it'd be a really interesting perspective to have that aspect going on, but also a sort of look at the ethics of the idea of rewriting such a huge part of history that it would affect the whole continent. Because you got to think, if you're taking the cult away from history, be like, boom, that's a huge effect on everything.
Shall we begin the next analysis?
And we'll then speak to the ideas of what they're going through with this story, the idea of like changing the timeline, adjusting it. Is this the right thing? Like, they really need to get into like the ethics of rewriting history in this, I feel.
Shall we begin the
But they didn't go for it. So they could have even done that with the Auguste character, but they didn't. But yeah, so that's my general idea of what I feel they could have done with Act 3. That obviously like would need a lot of development, a lot of different ideas there, but I feel the Ace aspect and then connecting him to the cult would be very, very, very good compared to Auguste, who seemingly came out of nowhere. That's the thing. He just seemed to come out of nowhere, and it was like, oh, hello, you're there. Okay. fine. It's like, yeah. So, what do you think of my idea?
Let's try another one.
Could you see it being developed in different ways? Like, what do you think on that? I like that. That's my question to you guys. Like, what do you think?
Shall we begin the next analysis?
Because I like that as an idea. It would have been interesting to see. Again, having Ren, Catra, and Van face that element of you can take away your pain and it would never have existed. It would even feed into the idea of facing the nightmare.
Shall we begin the next analysis?
Like, rather than running away from it, you face it. Because you could easily erase it, and that's running away from it. But no, you face it.
Shall we begin the next analysis?
But yeah. So, what do you think about my ideas there? Do you have any other ideas of what they could have done with Act 3? Please do let me know down below, and we'll have a little discussion. Or over a Discord, if you so like. Anyway, that's what's going to be done with this part. In the next part, I want to discuss something else. Like I said, there's little talking points I've got here and there. The next one, I actually want to talk about something I noticed with the artwork for... What was it called? I can't remember what it was called. Oh dear, that's not good. The latest album they released that's trail music. You know the one. It'll make sense when we get into the next part. I talked about it a little bit. No, I didn't talk, did it? Yeah, I talked about it a little bit with the XXXX before, but there's more to it than that I want to talk about. Yeah, so we'll talk about that in the next part. Ta-da for now.